students, I wanted to let you know that the format of the ACT essay has changed, and as usual, I want you to be prepared and ready to take the test as you will see it. I thought perhaps the best way for you to do this is to be able to sit in on one of my live seminars where I covered the new essay format. So if you have the time now, go ahead, turn it on, watch it, and learn everything you need to know to do well on this section. As always, if you have any questions for me, please email me at customerservice@publictutoring.org. Hope you learn a lot. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the new ACT essay and how to handle it when you walk in there. What you'll notice is that instead of having two different opinions, which is what the old one did, they had a yes, it's great, and no, it's not great. What the new ACT essay does is it gives you three different perspectives. So if you look at an example of a new ACT essay, they're going to choose a topic that's not just for high schoolers. Remember the old ones? Should we have to take certain art classes? I think that's the one you guys probably took last year. Or they may used to ask you about whether you should have candy machines in high schools. No more high school stuff. Now it's going to be a lot bigger and a lot more national or even global, okay? So the one that they come out with so far, one of them has been about robotics or intelligent machines, which would basically be computers or robotics. Another one was about how far the government should go in healthcare, meaning can they tell you you can't smoke in airports or you can't smoke in hospitals or stuff like that. And then another one I've seen is about censorship and interfering into personal liberty. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to read the question, okay? You have an extra 10 minutes now, which is awesome. So instead of having just 30 minutes, you're going to have 40 minutes to write. You are going to use that extra time for me, because I'm going to beg you to, plan. You need to plan what you're going to do. Now, you are going to write a 5-paragraph essay, and I made this just for you to see. You're going to have an introduction, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to write it. You're going to have 3 body paragraphs, and then you're going to have a conclusion. Okay, 5-paragraph essay, you probably heard that all when you were all freshmen, right? 5-paragraph essay. Now, here's the interesting thing. What you're going to do is you're going to decide after you read the question which side you like, and there will be either 1 or 2 perspectives, okay? 1 or 2 perspectives that agree with you. 1 may agree with you, 2 may agree with you. We don't know. I don't know how you all think. But what I do know is that you're going to get rid of the ones that annoy you first. So if any of these perspectives disagree with the opinion that you are going to set forth in your thesis, then in your body paragraphs, you're going to deal with the negative ones first. There may be 1, there may be 2. Is everyone understanding me on that? You may agree with 2 of them and disagree with 1 of them. In that case, you're going to get rid of the bad guy first, and then you're going to spend your 2nd body paragraph and your 3rd body paragraph talking about how much you like those other opinions. Everybody got that? Okay, so let's read this one. Intelligent machines. Many of the goods and services we depend on daily are now supplied by intelligent, automatic machines rather than human beings. Robots build cars and other goods on assembly lines where once there were human workers. Many of our phone conversations are now conducted not with people, but with sophisticated technologies. We can now buy goods at a variety of stores without the help of a human cashier. Automation is generally seen as a sign of progress, but what is lost when we replace humans with machines? Given the accelerating variety and prevalence of intelligent machines, it is worth examining the implications and meaning of their presence in our lives. Now I'm going to tell you 2 very important things. One of them is that for yourself, you should develop what we call a synonym bank. Okay? A synonym bank. Not a bank where you put in money, not an ATM, but a list of words that you can use to describe the topic that you are given. so that you don't have to say intelligent machines 50 times. You don't have to say progress 50 times, okay? You don't have to say, you can say intelligent machines, you can use the word automation. They give you a lot of synonyms in this. Use them, use these words. And I beg of you, don't misspell words that they give you. That's kind of silly, right? If they tell you how to spell automation, don't misspell it on your essay, okay? That will really irritate them. Okay, so one of the things that's super important that you do for yourself is do the synonym bank. The other thing that is so important to the graders, they do not want you to say anything without examples. So that's a word that we use a lot. We use it in the reading section when we talk about the examples that you circle and that you star. We use it in the grammar section when we talk about relevant, specific examples being something that they really like. So it should be as no surprise to you that that's what you're going to need to do in those body paragraphs. Okay? So now we're going to plan a little bit. How are we going to plan? We're going to go over the different perspectives. We're going to put them in our own words, and we're going to try to come up with some examples, because guess what? Those body paragraphs are going to deal specifically and name perspective 1, perspective 2, and perspective 3. You are going to mention them exactly as they're written. Capital P, 1, 2, 3 written out just as they have on your paper. Okay? That they don't want numerals, but they want you to discuss them. Now, the order you discuss them doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3. If you're paying attention, the order is going to be dictated, or the order is going to come from what you decide to write about, right? Whichever side of the issue you decide. Now, the nice thing is, it is an essay, and you do not have to go hook, line, and sinker. Have you ever heard that expression? You don't have to go 100% all in. You can actually say that you really like this way of thinking, but there are some issues that we have to resolve. Does everyone understand that? It means, yeah, I do believe this. I know there's some problems. We have to work out the kind of gray areas, but on balance, I think that this is the right way to go. So it is a belief, but that belief can have some qualifications. All right, now, we're going to talk about these 3 perspectives, and we're going to isolate them and what they mean, and you should probably do this for yourself on the test. Perspective 1. What we lose with the replacement of people by machines is some part of our own humanity. Even our mundane daily encounters no longer require from us basic courtesy, respect, and tolerance for other people. So, you see my frowning face right here? This says that perspective 1 says replacing people with machines is not good because we lose respect, common courtesy, and all that stuff. Now, think of some situations, and you can write them down where that could occur. Have you ever tried to get your computer fixed or phone fixed, and you go through 10 robots? If you believe this, if this is the problem, press 2. If this is the problem, press 4. And you're like, I just want to talk to a person, right? Okay, so that's what they're talking about, all right? Perspective 2. Machines are good at low-skill, repetitive jobs and at high-speed, extremely precise jobs. In both cases, they work better than humans. This efficiency leads to a more prosperous and progressive world for everyone. This is a smiley face, right? Because it says they're efficient at high-skill jobs, which would be like things that require precise algorithms and can handle vast amount of people at the same time, right? Like grading your ACT or getting a reservation on an airline via computer, or even your cell phones, fabricating the parts for your cell phone or car. Things that used to require people at the high skill and at the low skill level now can be done with machines, and this perspective means it's a good thing, right? Everybody with me so far? The third one, perspective 3. Intelligent machines challenge our long-standing ideas about what humans are or can be. This is good because it pushes both humans and machines toward new, unimagined possibilities. That's the smiley face. That would be like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, and thinking forward, and even now they're talking about cars that are going to drive themselves, right? Which I still can't imagine, but I'm sure that's what my grandmother thought when they told her we were going to be talking to each other across the world via cell phone, right? So these are the kinds of things. So everyone's got this, right? So now in your mind, I would like for you to think about how you're going to, what you're going to say, and I am just going to pick a way of thinking just so that I can illustrate it for you. Okay? Now, write this down. The introduction should have 3 sentences. You can have more, but you should at least have these 3. The first sentence, you should introduce the topic in a general way. I suggest you use these exact words, and this will be on your sheets that you take home. It is no secret that blank plays an important role in blank. Okay, so let's think about this topic. It is no secret that intelligent machines, such as computers and robots, have infiltrated many areas of modern society. Just a very general thing, telling these people who've written this question that they picked a great topic. Okay? It's no secret that this is an important topic. And you can begin, it is no secret, it's fine. Okay? Don't worry about it if other people use it as well. It's fine. Okay? There are thousands of graders grading these essays, and the likelihood that they get 2 of you in a row is very slim. Okay? So, and if they do, they can't dock you because it's a great way to start the essay. With me? Okay. The second sentence is where you need to kind of admit that there could be some issues. So you may want to begin with an although, because you could say something like this. Although many people take issue with the lack of the human touch, which is caused by the increased use of advanced mechanization, the resulting harm does not warrant the minimized use of machines. Okay, that was a fancy sentence that I wrote, but I just want you to know that all you need to say is that although many people, if you were taking the other side, you could say, although many people believe that we need machines for increased efficiency in high skill and low skilled jobs, and that they help us dream big, we are getting away from basic human contact, which is fundamental to our society. And any progress we make is outweighed by what we lose in people helping people. So you get what you're saying? You're giving a general nod that it's a great idea. The second sentence, you're going to use an although, and you're going to say, yeah, there are some issues, but on balance, what I'm saying is kind of right. Now the third sentence is going to be your, anybody? Thesis. Right, your thesis, right. The thesis sentence, you need to tell them exactly what you're going to talk about. That's where the placement of the thesis goes. Now, if you're a fabulous writer and you want to use a few more sentences in your introduction, go for it. I just want to make sure that you walk in there knowing something that you can say. That's very important to me. Okay? So here's my thesis. The increased use of robotics and intelligent machines greatly improves society as a whole, and we should embrace this change as profound progress in many areas. Okay? It's kind of general. I'm not really getting too specific, but I'm explaining to them that it's a great thing that this has happened in our society. I'm going to get down and dirty and specific in the body paragraphs, but I'm going to basically take the opinion that I think they're good. Any questions so far? Everybody with me? Okay. Now we need to come up with some examples, because your body paragraphs are going to be full of examples. Now, there are 3 areas that I'd like for you to think about. I'd like for you to think about education. I'd like for you to think about business. And I'd like for you to think about medicine. These are huge areas or industries in our society. Education, business, and medicine. But no matter what they ask you, you will be able to come up with some fabulous examples if you think about those 3 areas, no matter what they ask you. So let's think a little bit about, let's start with medicine. Perspective 1 says replacing people with machines, and we're going to lose. What about medicine? If you were going to say that replacing people with machines is not necessarily a great thing, and you wanted to espouse this point of view, what in medicine could you say? You could say, when you need a doctor, you don't want to get an automated machine. You don't necessarily want to put in, it's kind of risky to put in all of your factors or all of your symptoms on a computer website and for them to spit out what you should take or what you should do. Okay, it's much better to be seen by a doctor. You guys understand how that would be a great option here? Or in education, some people may feel like we've gotten too computerized. I don't know, okay? I feel like, yes, it is, sometimes you do lose a little bit of this, but I feel like the benefits are way, way gone. I feel like I'd rather be able to get an appointment very quickly via computer with a physician rather than hang on a line and wait for a person to look it up on the computer. When I want an appointment, I'd rather see it, look at my schedule, and find it. Okay, so medicine could provide some examples whichever way you wanted to go with this one. Let's talk about this one. Efficiency at high skill and low skill situations. Business. Let's think about business or even medicine. Can you guys think of something where computerization or mechanization has helped people either in medicine or business or even in education? Anybody have any ideas? Do you want to mention? Has anyone ever heard of like laparoscopic surgery or computer-aided surgery? Think about all that. Absolutely. And in business, I mean, can we use robotics in making cars? Everyone here has a cell phone, right? Do you think that a person put that together fully? No. I mean, we are relying on networking and, all kinds of technical things to help our businesses, both high skill and low skill. Okay, and in education as well. Okay, there's smart boards and you guys can Google everything. You can use spell check. Who uses spell check? Okay, you had to use a dictionary before that was invented, right? Okay, now let's go to perspective 3. You see, these are really helpful guides to help you come up with examples, okay? Let's talk about perspective 3. Machines make us dream big. I mean, my head went right to business, but certainly in education, they certainly made me think big. I thought about creating a website to help as many people as I could with the ACT, but I mean, think about it. In education, people can go to college online now. It's amazing. Think about business and things like that, and then of course medicine we mentioned. All right, how are you going to construct those body paragraphs? Let's talk about that, and you probably want to write it down. The first thing that you need is, and everyone should know this from our discussion of the reading section, what do you need as the first sentence of every paragraph of an essay? A topic sentence, exactly. A topic sentence, super important. You have to tell them what you're going to try to show. So in the first sentence, you're going to tell them what you're going to show. Here we go. Many argue that the increased use of intelligent machines will improve our efficiency. So that's what you say. Now in the second sentence, you mention the perspective. Okay? As I said, you want to use a capital P and you want to note it in TWO, not the numeral 2. As perspective 2 notes, and you can quote perspective 2. Put a comma after the word notes and then put quotes around whatever part of it you're pulling out. Okay? As perspective 2 notes, machines are good at low skill repetitive jobs and high skill precise jobs. Okay, so everyone got and this is going to happen regardless of the body paragraph. It's all going to start the same way with your thesis, topic sentence, and then with a mention of the perspective and what it says, okay? Then you have to get very specific. All right, listen to me and how specific I am in this paragraph. Particularly in the area of manufacturing, the increased use of robotics has improved our productivity in the automobile and electronics industries. Companies like Amazon may run fulfillment centers more effectively, thus making products cheaper. Government agencies like the Postal Service and the IRS may work better with increased reliance on machines rather than slower, more error-prone humans. High-tech companies like Microsoft and Apple run more cost-effectively, thus allowing more people the ability to afford what up to now may have been too expensive for all but the wealthiest members of society. Computer-assisted medical technologies have saved lives. Increased use of computers in education has allowed for advances in education worldwide. As perspective 2 indicates, what we find is a more prosperous and progressive world economy. Similar to the progress made during the Industrial Revolution, our present economy has moved forward with the introduction of intelligent machines. Thus, and everyone should write that down because when you conclude a paragraph, you need to tie it up in a tiny little bow with a thus or a therefore. We, and use the first person or the first person plural. This is a personal essay. It's I or we, not you, the second person, and not one, the third person. This is a personal opinion. We should embrace this form of mechanization and continue to encourage research and development. Okay, who here agrees that was very specific? I gave a lot of evidence, right? I pulled all name drop. Sorry, not name drop, name drop. Now the other thing that you want to do is if you do remember something historical that makes sense, please mention it. That's going to make your essay even stronger. So anything that you can come up with from history is only going to help strengthen your score, okay? Now, when you begin your second body paragraph, remember when we discussed transition words? I don't know if you're going to be continuing in the same line of fire. I don't know if you're going to be changing directions. If you're continuing with the same argument, you're going to say additionally or likewise. You're going to use a transition word like that. If you're changing gears, you're going to use a word like, anyone? However, or nevertheless, or, we should also consider, or, conversely. So always use transition words. That makes you have a really strong flow to your essay, okay? You're going to basically do the same thing, same format. Thesis, perspective, examples, close it. Now, you have to have a conclusion. So make sure that the reason why you do all this pre-planning is so that you will have time for a conclusion. It doesn't have to be long, and you really only have to do 3 things. You need to rephrase your thesis. You need to mention or allude to some of your examples. And then the very last sentence of your essay, you need to project for the future and let them know how important this is. Here's an example. We should continue to welcome the introduction of sophisticated technologies. In terms of productivity, costs of goods, and advancements in the medical field, we have seen amazing progress in more affordable products and services with the advent of intelligent machines. Our future seems much more promising with the dreams that are ignited through increased use of robotics and computers. Okay, now, it's a very simple thing to do. You should hit the ground running, and you should leave yourself 1 or 2 minutes to proofread your first paragraph. When you meet someone for the first time, that is your first impression, okay? When I met you, I probably extended my hand and shook your hand and looked you in the eyes and greeted you by your name. That meant something to you, and it meant something to me. When someone reads your first paragraph, they're going to get their impression of you. So you want to make sure that you really check it to make sure that you've checked all your grammar, checked your spelling, checked your punctuation, and so that puts them in the right frame of mind to give you a really good score. Okay? Anybody have any questions at all on how to handle this? Please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. You can ask me by email if you can't think of anything right now. Send them to me, and I will always get back to you and answer them. Okay? Does anyone in this room happen to have any questions? Anybody? Okay. Is there anything else that you guys want to ask me? Yes.